Welcome to the ACEVEDO video store. Today is another movie theater review. Today we're going to review My Hero Academia Heroes Rising from 2019, based on the Japanese manga, based on a TV show of the same name. Well, it's not in that order. It's kind of the order is on a TV show on a manga of the same name. But in case, I went to see this movie on its premiere, specifically 7:30 p.m. Wednesday, February 26, 2020. But now, by the time I'm recording this video, I finally have the time in order to give my opinions and express about when this video gets uploaded. But in case, also this review is a non-spoiler review and a spoiler review. The reason I'm doing that in one single video instead of like two separate videos is because, for one, and it's that the leave 2 likes on a video doesn't work anymore since Godzilla came to monsters. And for two, I now actually could record longer, so I could expand more on several things. But in case, so this first part will be the non-spoiler review, and later on in the video, I will warn you about the spoiler review. But in case, so the story is about Class 1A protecting and overlooking an island, and I forgot the name of it, but in case, as a way of hero training, and they're there for a while until a villain named Nine and also his group of other villains, which I unfortunately forgot their names, come down to the island in order to find a person that has a quirk in order to have his ninth quirk, or because he has the capability of stealing others' quirks, like All for One. So Deku, also known as Izuku Midoriya, must stop Nine, and also with the help of others must defeat him as well. So that is the basic plot of the story of the film without giving out major spoilers to it. But in case, let me just scratch myself. This movie is great. I did really like its story. It was quite interesting. Its ending was a bit odd, but I will explain a little bit later, but I will tell you later. The animation was really well done. It does improve even more from the Two Heroes film. Like, it is more action packed, and the animation is well done with the action scenes and all. But the CGI to it could look a little bit odd. The characters are funny and interesting. I did like the new ones they have in it. But of course, we are not going to see them later on in the future of the series itself. For continuity reasons, but in case. But the ending, I did mention before, is a bit odd. I'm not going to spoil it, but it makes sense while not making sense. And it's because the reasoning they gave in the end, it made sense and didn't make sense. Like, literally my theory was like, what? But I will explain it in the spoiler section of the video. It made sense and didn't make sense. I am sorry if I'm repeating myself. So that is basically my only one issue with the film. It's ending. But in case, also I did really like its soundtrack, but the final battle, specifically the song they chose for the final battle, was a bit odd, but then again, kind of made sense. I expected like a action theme, like dun 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 dun, like that. But in case, so yeah. So overall, I will give it 4.4 out of 5 stars. Alright, so that is my opinion of the movie itself. That's the non-spoiler section. Now I'm going to get to spoilers. So if you just want to hear my opinion about this film, it's time to stop, or it's time to press your mute button while you do something. I don't know. Or I suggest to stop watching this video and go see the movie. Go see the movie, man. Go see the movie. Go get up your chair and go see the movie. But anyways. So now let's talk about spoilers. So before I watched the movie on the same exact day a few hours previously, I made a list of 12 different predictions. I watched Two Heroes as a base in order to write down my predictions as expectations for watching this movie. But in case, and out of those 12, 9 came true, which is coincidentally the characters the villain's name 9. In case. Now, let's go on. I'll go to each prediction, tell you which one came true, which one didn't came true, and the reasoning and this and that. In case. First one, it did came true, reusing animation from the show. It did reuse animation more as a flashback moment and a backstory moment in order to like explain a few things here and there. For the backstory moments, which is the first beginning of the film, they put a comic book filter over it, even though the manga itself does not look like the comic book filter. Or we have better printers today than the year 1967, September, in case. But also the flashback scenes, they do put a like filter, not a comic book filter, but just like a filter or say, here's a flashback. But in case. So yeah, that was one thing. The second one didn't came true. Introduce items and then destroy the item or never mention them. The reason I put that is because in Two Heroes, Deku receives a gauntlet made by Davy Shield's daughter, which basically helps him use more of his quirk with his arms without damaging him. But instead of damaging his arms when fighting the villain with All Might, it damages the gauntlet, basically destroying it, and now it's non-existent. Actually, even which arm it is? Yeah, this one. And in case. So I expected that there will be like a new item in the film and they will destroy it or never mention it again. There wasn't any item, like any major item or any item like as in like used as a power, or it's like help to use for a quirk. So this prediction didn't came true. Next one, the third one, did came true. Introduce villain, defeat villain at the end, and never mention it again. Now, this one did came true for obvious reasons. So after Bakugo and Deku defeat 9, they basically like, I hit him so much that 9 basically flies all the way to, or is another part of the island where there's flowers and all, and Shigaraki teleports there by using the quirk of All for One, and basically decays him using his quirk, and basically turning him into dust. So yeah, we're least likely we're going to see 9 again, or the other villains with 9. I was expecting for 9 to be like defeated in a way, as in he's sent to jail or prison, something like that. But never expecting for him to basically be killed. But the other villains did got arrested and all. But actually, you know what's interesting? Okay, there's a villain part of the group that actually did remember. Or the name was the Mummy, which the quirk was basically similar to a mummy, but like basically grabbing objects and turning them and all that. Blankies. So during the film, they actually defeat the villain Mummy. Yeah, I think I got that right name right. And they also put him like they like lock him up and all that and make sure he doesn't get out in the. I forgot what it is. Like basically they have him in this warehouse because the electricity is knocked down, because where else they're going to put him. But when they like start planning, like we're going to the castle ruins and all that, it's not really explained what happens to the villain. It's never explained, like, do they take them with him or just leave him in the warehouse in there, or without any protection, like somebody like guarding the door or anything like that. Which is a bit odd in my opinion. But at the end, at the end of the film, we do see all the villains, including the Mummy, he all captured and of course sent to jail or prison. Blankies. So yeah, that's one thing that kind of bugged me during the film. Next did came true, and it's my favorite one out of all these, the best one. A what a twist moment. A twist to the film did actually happen, and it's at the very end of the film where I said before it did make sense while not making sense. I think I'm paraphrasing my own quote here. Thank you. So at the end of the film, Bakugo and Deku are fighting 9, but they're, as a last result, in order to save the others and save the island. And Deku passes down the quirk all for one. No, not all for one for all. Down to Bakugo. In order for both of them to use one for all to defeat Nine to save the others. But it risks his Deku losing his quirk and basically not basically not accomplishing his dreams of being a pro hero like All Might. So after the battle itself, the rescue team, including All Might, comes down to the actual island, and Deku admits to All Might that he passes down his quirk to Bakugo. But for some gosh darn miracle, one for all is still with Deku, but not Bakugo. And All Might gives a reason or a theory depending on it. Basically gives a theory or a reason saying that Bakugo was unconscious before one for all became his quirk. Now in my theater, the reaction to that was like funny. Like everybody was like, "What?" But my cousin who actually went to see this film told me that in his theater when he watched it, everybody like had a gasp, like go like that. Like everybody was surprised. They didn't question it. Most likely the audience I went to see it did question it. Because here's the thing. In season 1, Deku who when All Might passes one for all down to Deku, who it took him a few hours to basically kick it in as his own quirk. But with Bakugo, it took him like 10 to 20 seconds. Like go, here, bam, and you got one for all. Now let's defeat Nine. Like basically like that. So yeah, it was a bit confusing with him. But then again, I could see the reasoning to this. I think it's a plot hole, but to this plot point of the film, it's because when a movie is made, when a show is currently happening, usually the movie is made during the show, like during the production of the show. So I am predicting and most likely that Heroes Rising was made during when season 4 was being made. And of course, when a movie or he said when a movie is like being made, when a show is being made, it could go through several different storyboard artists. Man, today I keep stuttering in this video. So it goes through several storyboard artists. Of course, there will be changes here and there when it goes to each one. Like they will remove this one, they will add that one to this, add this one, and add that. So yeah, there's one thing that could actually happen, that this plot hole could actually happen of Bakugo basically not receiving one for all. Gosh darn it. That's the worst part. All for one is the villain, one for all is the quirk that All Might uses. To be honest, could they come up with a better... Okay, this is not a complaint, but could they just come up with a better name, instead of calling it one for all, call it something different, like all for one and one for all. Basically using the same one for all and all for one. Yeah, basically uses the same 3 words, but flip them. So yeah, that is one thing. So yeah, that is a what a twist moment. What a twist moment. Thank you guys. Oh, this is the one that didn't came true, but there was a small snippet of a joke into Heroes. But this one didn't came true. It's the 5th one. A joke about ships. No explanation. And next one did came true. Mentioning events of season 3. Now it does mentions a few events of season 3 in order to give it to backstory of it. So yeah, that did of course came true. Came true. Also, we got the. Oh wait, that's the next one. But so yeah, and nothing else to say about it. Just it does mention a few events here and there. Earlier. So yeah, like how two heroes mention events about how season 2. Here's the next one, and that did came true. Characters introduced in the film, but not mentioned again or being killed. Of course, this did kind of made true and kind of not made true. Like it goes both ways, but mainly it's correct. Heck, like it did actually happen. So we're introduced to these two new kid characters. Of course, I unfortunately forgot their names. Spankies. Hey, there is a joke that I like that kind of confused me in the end of the movie. Like literally in the last line, Deku says he says to the kid who has like okay, let me explain. So basically, the kid, specifically the boy, or has a quirk of like cell healing, but I forgot what blood type. But so 9 needs that quirk in order to heal his cells whenever he uses all 9 of them, and so yeah, blank case. Hey, but the boy, but Deku makes a joke. Well, not a joke, but Deku says to the boy when out on the ship is saying, "See you at UA one day." And I'm thinking in my head, man, the kid is not going to appear 7 to 6 years later until he gets to UA high school. Oh, it's because according to season 1, it takes 3 years from day 1 to becoming a pro hero. Oh, like 3 years. Years of UA high school. Oh, by the time the kid actually arrives at UA high school, Deku most likely will already be a pro hero, man. And least likely will be teaching there. Or he could go down like the same path as All Might by passing down his quirk. Or again also teaching the UA high school, the UA students. Could be a possibility. But in case. Also, we get into this film, we get introduced a new character that has been in the manga, or named Hawks, which is a guy with, of course, the wings. 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 I didn't thought, but Hawks is actually, I think, claimed, or not claimed, but confirmed to appear in season 5, because literally in the intro of season 4, in the Culture Festival opening of My Hero Academia season 4, we actually see, and when they're showing the opening, there's this one part which is just a few seconds where we can actually see the backside of Hawks with in the same frame with Endeavor. So most likely Hawks will appear at the end of season 4 or at season 5. But we do see him in the film. Speaking about Hawks, I did like his English voice actor. I did saw this film English dub. But I did like the English voice cast for it. I'm not really used to. Well, not. Well, technically that's a lie, but I am used to hearing the English voice actors, but I'm more like used to hearing the Japanese voice actors. So it was a bit of a surprise to hear like some characters that I saw in Japanese now hearing them in English, which is quite interesting. There's like this fly or whatever it is, this bug flying around. Bugman, Bengis. So Hawks will appear here later on in the series itself. I'm going to just talk about the series, not the manga itself. Personally, I never read it. I am interested to read it in order to not get spoilers anymore. So, yeah. But in case. Okay, so yeah, we do get introduced characters that we'll least likely see and characters we will most likely see. There was a reference of David's shield in the beginning of season 4, like a small little bit of a reference of David's shield. So most likely we could get a few references later down in the series of the events of two heroes. Oh, to me. So yeah. Next one did came true. Ooh, a flashback scene. Now the flashback scene was happening with original animation and reused animation from the show itself. So the flashback scenes of the original animation is basically he explaining the backstories of the character 9, like basically how he like gathered, well, not really a story like the part out how he gathered the group and all that. But we do see some bit of a backstory of it and how basically he was used in a test by Shigaraki in the League of Villains. And so yeah, and also we get the same doctor the same doctor character from season 1 who basically told Deku that he doesn't have a quirk anymore. Well, doesn't have a quirk. And you know what's funny? The doctor's full name. I heard that the doctor's name is a Japanese war crime. I'm not sure. Or basically there was a controversy about the character's name and that got them, I think, banned. Yeah, they got them banned from China, which was quite surprising that it was even banned. My Hero Academia was even allowed in China, in my opinion. But I'm not going to go really well delve into that because I didn't really researching or really look at it at the time when the controversy was happening. So yeah, thank you. But we do also get flashback scenes, of course. Here's another one that did came true, a oh no moment. Okay, so of course there are several oh no moments. For example, there's several oh no moments, like it seems like the character's about to be killed or basically like basically destroyed and all that. So yeah, there is of course oh no moments. And for example, when basically Bakugo and Deku looks like they're about to fail, but they end up going with the last result of passing down one for all. Man, they should change the name. Thanks. Hey, so yeah, and also during the battle scenes, like the final battle scene, there was several moments like that. But in case, so not that much to explain about it. There was. Next one did came true, mentioning the villain all for one. Yes, they did mention the villain all for one, of course, because the similarity wasn't the character 9. And so yeah, they did mention him. And by not believing that I'm trying to get my memory like tingle up with this, but I'm not believing that they have any like original animation of all for one or original dialogue. Most likely they reuse a few things here and there. Here, so yeah, but we do see all the quirks of all for one being used for Shigaraki in order to teleport or to see he 9 basically he defeated him on a nice flower patch. That's just laying there. He's dead. He became dust on those nice flowers. But in case. So the film is kind of implying that basically he's like all for one somehow has a contact or a connection with Shigaraki, as in to like contact each other. So yeah, that could basically explain it itself. I'm like kind of getting dry here and there. So yeah, next one is there came true an unexpected moment. Of course, the ending was the most unexpected thing to everybody who saw it. It was literally unexpected of the most like the plot hole of the reasoning to it, which was a bit questionable. Of course, I'm like kind of repeating myself. So yeah. But in case, so there's nothing much to expand on that prediction, and this one didn't came true, and it's the final one out of the 12. A reference of a Toho property. Now Toho is a company who technically, I'm believing, who technically owns this movie. Of course, we see their logo in the beginning, and also owns the series, and Studio Bones, of course, makes the animation for it. So I expected to there be a Toho reference, and the reasoning is that in Two Heroes, there is Godzilla is somehow a character in My Hero Academia, and a background character like says that he has the most Godzilla has a quirk, and then that is the most questionable thing. And is Godzilla part of the he like is the, like sorry if I'm repeating myself and stirring is Godzilla part of the universe of My Hero Academia? Does Jet Jaguar is there? Does Ingress is there? Is Ingress there? King Kong, Mothra, Varan, Megalon, any of those characters, including Mechagodzilla, any of them? That is questionable. I wish there was a mini story of basically explaining Godzilla, being like a reference or a joke to it. But it's not like a joke in Two Heroes like they say, oh, it's insert name Zilla. No, they literally call him Godzilla. Which now we need an explanation. So please give me an explanation with that joke. But in case, so back to topic of Heroes Rising. So I expect it to be a reference to the film Seven Samurai, which is also another Toho property directed by Akira Kurosawa. Because in my opinion, they kind of have similar, not like a similar story, but like a similar plot. In Seven Samurai, Seven Samurai have to protect in a village from bandits. It's in this film. Basically, the Class 1A has to protect the island from, of course, the group of villains, and their leader being Nine. So I expect a reference to Seven Samurai, like some similarities to it. Some nods here and there and all that. When watching the film, I noticed there wasn't any I noticed from my viewpoint perspective, I didn't notice any reference to Seven Samurai, which was kind of a bit disappointing. But then again, who does want a reference to Seven Samurai in My Hero Academia? So yeah, but in case, but most likely there could be a small, little this small, basically a few atoms worth of a reference of from Seven Samurai, but most likely I have to examine when I get it on Blu-ray. I most likely examine each frame, each piece of dialogue in order to say yes, that's a reference. But least likely. But in case. So yeah, that is all 12 predictions of the movie itself. So yeah. In any case. I just went over my bunk bed and fell down the other bed, went like this. Woo! In case. So yeah, I'm trying to think of other moments to talk about in the film, but nothing is coming up to my head anything major and all that. So yeah. But in case. So actually, let's talk about the canon for this movie. Now I'm keep finding some contradicting things here and there. In my opinion, and so far the most common understanding is that the film itself takes place in between season 4 and 5, because it's clarified as it doesn't take place during season 4. Or because with Two Heroes, it was pretty simple. It took place between season 2 and season 3. But the new film was quite a bit odd. Because in my opinion, when I first heard of the film, I expected for the film it would be between season 3 and season 4. But then I realized that the end of season 3, we basically get a cliffhanger about how Night Eye, the character that Deku goes with it for his hero agency. So yeah. And in the beginning of season 4, it does lead to that, which was a bit interesting. And so I was like, okay, when does it take place? Is well, according to Funimation website, specifically the article 5 Things You Have to Know Before Watching My Hero Academia Heroes Rising, it says it takes place after season 4, part 1. So I was thinking that it takes place after the arc with Overhaul, the villain, and before the Culture Festival arc. I was thinking of that. But then when I was watching like the very beginning of the Culture Festival, specifically the beginning when we started to get the intros and all that, yeah, there is not like a point that I could throw a dart at and say, yeah, during season 4, and could throw a dart and say, yeah, this is when it takes place. So, there's also, I forgot what website it was called, like comic book, like something like that. But it says that it doesn't take place in the events of season 4, but after, like in the beginning of season 5. So most likely, so in my opinion, I'm believing that it takes place between season 4 and season 5. I'm more repeating myself with that. But then, I found another article saying that it takes place near season 6. Like after the beginning of season 5, like near season 6. Like, how long, man? How long can we go in the future? But in case. But also I do see a few things, like people saying like the movie itself does not take place in the manga of like the canon of the manga. Even my cousin like saying that the movie is not canon, even though it is canon to the anime, but not the manga itself, from what I hear. So yeah, that is a bit confusing, but in my opinion, it takes place between season 4 and season 5. But whatever you believe, if you want to take my word or not, it's fine. There's also a thing about already said before that I saw the English dub of the film. I didn't saw the Japanese version with subtitles, of course. Whereas I was kind of expecting, like I said, I was thinking to myself, it didn't matter when I go see the movie to premiere if it's subtitle or it's an English dub. But in the English dub, I did notice a few things, specifically changing the dialogue. Now, I already mentioned in my season 2 and season 3 review that some of the dialogue was changed, but they still give out the same meaning. I think I'm going to use the same example. Like, for example, well, let's say, gosh darn, I keep repeating myself, but here's a quote. I'm going to park my car. Now let's change that quote, but give it the same meaning. Hey, I'm going to move my car to the nearest free parking space. Yeah, it gives the same meaning, but it's not the exact same quote to it. Yeah, but there was one change that I did notice. So of course the boy character, her was the one of the kids. He refers Deku as Mr. Deku in the English dub. But at the end, where her basically both the sister and brother are screaming at Deku and Bakugo like "Don't give up" and all, uh, uh, the boy still refers to him as Mr. Deku, and I was like, they changed him. Because literally in the Japanese version of the film, specifically from the trailers that were released on YouTube and most likely in theaters in Japan, he refers Deku as Big Brother Deku, and had this theory like basically Deku's dad went to live on this island, and then got remarried and have kids again, but no, so in the film it ended up being Deku's dad does not appear, unfortunately. But different characters, of course, like they're unrelated to the Midoriya family, whatever you want to call them, bank case. So yeah, that's the one thing I did notice. They did change the dialogue, which is quite strange because most likely most likely in the film they had to give a explanation why the boy was give the nickname to Deku as Big Brother Deku. Literally, my cousin, my other cousin, hinted me we were talking about My Hero Academia before it came out in U.S. theaters. He said that he told me like Big Brother Deku. Here's a hint. It's just a nickname. So yeah, But most likely they had to explain why he keeps calling him Big Brother Deku. But in the film when I saw him, the kid kept calling him Mr. Deku, and most likely that could be easily explained without being explained. And all. Like you have to be polite, you gotta refer this as Mr. and Mrs. and all that. But there has to be an explanation why that boys keep calling him as Big Brother Deku. So most likely when I watch this on Blu-ray, I'm going to immediately watch the Japanese version in order to figure that out. Which there is some history. Well, not history to that, but history like dialogue changes and all. For example, in the manga itself, of Deku, who the name Deku reminds Uraraka as like you can do it, like whatever it's in. But Deku is just a nickname in the anime. Nothing special to it. Nothing like you can do it, man. So yeah, that is the thing that I noticed. That's in the trailer. So most likely we have to like sit down and watch the Japanese version of the movie itself. So yeah. But in case. So what else there is to talk about in this film that I could complain about? Well, I think there isn't anything much to say about it. Most likely I would just say I suggest to go watch the movie. So yeah, I think that's the end of it. That's all the review. Have a nice day, and later on come back to our video store.